Well, I really wish we had enough time for me to put out a quiz and say, who is that artist of the week? Anyway, please welcome a Nigerian drummer, percussionist, iconic figure in the history of Nigerian music, trained and mentored countless drummers and musicians, locally and internationally. For more than 3 decades, he has been privileged to work as an instrumentalist and drummer, music director, band manager, project coordinator, and drum instructor, having worked with Phil Driscoll, Lionel Peterson, Kelvin Bond, T-Mac, Johnny Brown, Logan Smith, Yvonne Shaka Shaka, Ron Kenoli, Onyeka Onwenu, Christian Igbokwe, Steve Rhodes, Mike Okri, Blackie, Alex O, Sonny Neji, Alex Zito, Sami Okposo, the list goes on. Please welcome Raymond Jehovy, popularly known as Papare.
Papare. Papare.
Thank you.
When you hear your CV being read like that, how does it feel?
All those big names people are calling person. You know, I put as phone now.
Oh wow!
It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's quite a rich CV there. Oh, when I heard names like Phil Driscoll, it brought me back. Took me back memory lane. How I used to listen to his music back then, and it brought me joy. Well, I can imagine what joy you had, working with that array of people that, we also know, quality musicians as well.
Especially because most of the time, Ray, when people know these big names, people know the Sami Okpozos, Alex O's, in those days, Ron Kenoli and all, we don't usually see the musicians performing behind them, making all those things happen. The drummer, the bassist, the keyboard player, the guitarist, and all of that. How does that feel for many musicians?
It's really, the question is very, very tricky. You see, some of those artists those artists you mentioned now, the young generation that are coming up now will be wondering, where did you get those names from? Do those names exist? But it's really fun. It's really fun because when I was growing up, I had the opportunity to meet these guys because that was what was happening at that time. And it's upon these foundations that music actually grew up in Nigeria, contemporary, where we actually brought especially for Christian and Obokwe, Onyeka Onwenu, those guys that I played with, actually brought that African thing I was hidden there. We were able to bring it out. And especially that I had to now mix, when you say Afrocentric, people just hear the word Afrocentric, they really don't know what Afrocentric means. I had to bring the contemporary thing and infuse it into our thing, our African thing there. And it became something that was very, very colorful. Became something that everybody appreciated. Became something that the young drummers saw and knew that, wow, this can be different. For example, now, that song that Christiana has sang, it was supposed to be an African beat that was there, but the drumming that you will hear in that album is English drumming. It was actually a pop drum, you understand, that was played in that music. But it's sold as an African record, not as English record. It's sold, and that thing won award to Christian Ibokwe, where they had to give her a limousine. I think a Rolls Royce or a limousine. Wow. That thing won for her, and several amount of money. So the young generation that are coming don't understand this. Everything everybody just want to play now. They just sit down on the drums and they want the soup that is already done. That fast principle, you just push it. You dump the how do you call it in English now? Those bottom pots that makes what drumming sound like. And sometimes they look back and they don't look at the fathers that opened this thing. If not that, you are calling me now. So they don't even know who Papare is. I have cut across like 4 generations. You understand? For like 4 decades. Let me not say 4 generations. Like 4 decades. It's only the students that I put outside there that from there you can know who Papare is. You know, you cannot really mention drumming in Nigeria that you don't mention the foundations. People like us, by grace, so it's not that we're using it to boast to.
Well, that leads to another question of legacy, of sustainability, of standards. I see a lot of drummers. I mean, these days of social media, people, you know, the drummer just wants himself to be on Facebook so that you can know the magic or whatever that he can perform. But you've also touched something very, very serious, and that is the cultural value of our music. Everyone is talking about Afrobeats now. Everyone all over the world, you play any Afrobeat song by any of these younger people as you talked about, and their heads are all over the place. But while it's a great opportunity for young musicians to be seen and known all over the world, do you see any risks that we are running as a continent, as a culture? Do you see any cultural erosion that could result from us not sustaining, if we are not, in your opinion, our cultural values and our music cultural values in the songs that we are putting out, even though Nigerian music is now very, very famous all over the world?
Why? You know the problem, eh? I had opportunity to travel to Europe several times, you know, and then the first thing that I was asked to do is that, yes, they know that we have this thing, but our people cannot even write what they read on the script. So if you give the same beat that the same drummer just played now, who claimed that he's an African drummer or whatever, when you put it in a piece of, in a music sheet and you give it to him, he dies. He doesn't even know that it's his beat that you have written out for him to play. You'll be looking at the book as if I explaining him. So well, so the manuscript becomes like a mirror to him. He doesn't know what to play anymore. But for people like us, and that is what I teach, I try to make them read this thing and you're able to write it. If you're able to read it and write it, the white man will respect you. The white man will say, if you want to hide anything from a black man, you go and put it in the book. So what they do, they will listen to our own beat and write it and bring it to us to come and play. We cannot play it, but yet their drummer can look at it and play our beat. And not look as if that they are better than us. No, they are not better than us in anything. When you want to talk of a culture, our culture is very rich. The white man music is very straight. I can play about hundreds of rock music for you now, and I can predict their beats. African beat you cannot predict. How can you play Akpala? What do you understand by pseudo? Our A.K.A. here. What do they understand about it? They don't know these things. So they come here and they listen to it. They just carry the record, they go back home, they go and write it. For example now, the 2-3 clave or 3-2 clave, like we call it, it's African, but now they are not calling it the universal clave. It's not universal. Afro-Cuban is claiming it, that it's Afro-Cuban. The beat that sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All African reading, whether triplets or 4/4 timing, got their foundation from this. That is why our mothers and our parents who are old, when you hear them sing any song, the first thing you hear is this clave. Nobody taught them because it is in the blood. For example, I sing a song for you now. Which kind soup, mama cook, soup? Look at how our to it. Which kind soup, mama cook, soup? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Nobody taught them that. And this reading is what the white man is calling universal clave, because it is very, very rich. The Africans in Cuba, when they play this reading, that's why they call it Afro-Cuban, or they call it Afro-Latin. So that African thing, they put inside Cuban music. You now hear Afro-Cuban, you now hear Afro-Latin. It's our thing because thing is very, very rich. So they stole it from us. So they didn't want to call it their own because they know that we will shout about it. They just said it's universal. What is universal? It's our thing. We never claim funk. Funk is not our own. We didn't claim pop. Pop is not our own. We didn't claim reggae. Reggae is not our own. But this 2-3 clave or 3-2 clave is our thing. They stole it from us. Our boys go there, they fool them with the same rhythm. They give them the same rhythm and say, come and play this thing. They sit down there and just play it, and they cannot say that this thing is our own. Nobody could defend it. But when I got to Europe, as I'm arguing my case with you now, I argued it with them and I won the case. They don't believe why? Because I could play it and I could write it. I could read it. Our boys can play and know very few of them. I can count them, except maybe students that I train, whether in SPAN or on one-on-one basis now, that can read and write this thing. Every drummer, no matter what you can play, if you cannot read and you cannot write drumming, I never consider you as a great drummer. You are just one of those people that are just doing it. I hope this makes sense.
So you had a couple of firsts, I must say. You're considered an encyclopedia of drumming. You introduced a double pedal bass drumming setup locally. In the 80s and 90s. How did that come about?
Man, it was just crazy. We didn't think about the money. I didn't even think about the fame. I just wanted to play that instrument. So everything I could do at that time, both rehearsal, you understand, I could leave my house, go and sit with Fuji musicians. Just sit down there all night. Nobody invited me. Yeah, fine, there's free food to eat, but the food is not my problem. I'll just go and sit down. I just want to sit down there and listen all night how those local musicians who could not play contemporary drumming like me, how they do their balatin. So I picked it up from there. I'll go and listen to the Fuji musicians, how they played it, and I'll pick it from there. So I pick all these things pieces by pieces, and now brought it and try as much as possible to infuse it into the music that was happening that time. Then Asian, Sonny Okosun, what's his name again? Onyeka Onwenu, Alexo, name them. There are plenty at that time. So it was fun for me. I wasn't looking for money. I just wanted an act. I just wanted something new. I just wanted to create something that nobody has ever touched before. So that was what I was doing. So I became like a sensation. You just look at this one playing. I said, so this instrument can be played like this. Because they thought that it was only the white people that would play the instrument. Funny enough, they made the instruments. We didn't make it. Especially that drum set thing. And we have our local one, Conga, Jimby, and other. But that drum set, it wasn't from us. They were the one that founded it. So people just thought that it's only white people that can play it. And that became like insult, especially to my person. So I was not looking for fame. Neither was I looking for money. I just wanted to prove a point. So everywhere I played this instrument, people never knew that I was a Nigerian. Because I didn't actually look like a Nigerian. Because I had very, very long Jerry curls. And you will see me wear choke 1, choke 2, choke 3 necklaces. My dressing was like it was the foreign one. So I wasn't the African boy that would just wear adire, come and play, check it. So I wanted to create a standard. And that standard came to stay. And that is the drumming that you are hearing today. So the few people that we train, you understand, pick this thing up, you understand, and they were able to spread it around. If not, we would have still be behind and playing that Nigerian kind of drumming that I made at that era. So I was able to crack that thing, that international thing. I was able to crack it. So people saw that, yeah, the black boys in Africa or black boys from Nigeria can actually play internationally. And they are all over the world today. We have gone past that stage where it is only the white man that can play. We are doing something great. I have one guy that I see him and the guy reminds me of me. And his name is Benji. Fantastic guy. So people call him the greatest drummer in Africa for now. Fine, I give him that credit. He cannot be the greatest drummer in Africa because there are some people that you have not seen. But he just had that opportunity where people are able to see him play. He came to come and meet me in Spain, and I saw him and we talked about it. I taught him one or few things. But the guy is really great. He is not the greatest, but he's really great. So this is what I'm talking about. The foundation, you can't take away the foundation. The foundation must be correct. If that foundation is correct, people will pick it up from there. And that is what you see happening right now.
But you know, it still leaves the responsibility with people like you, people like K-Sticks, and the rest of you like that, to not just watch things go the way they continue to go. Now, everyone is talking about Sugarfoot, late Michael Jackson's drummer. And he's also, of course, very, very proud of the things that he's done. And a number of other guys, Chester something, who played with the Integrity Music for a very long time. So people are talking about these guys. So, but the identity of the Nigerian music, of African music, as you have said, is there. You can't miss it. You can't rule it out. So how do we make it a standard? Not just something that people can play anyhow, but something that can be internationalized. You've said it. Pop is not ours, but we play pop. Afrobeat is ours. Funk is not ours, but we play funk. A.K.A is ours. So how do we position such styles, particularly in the world, so that anyone from anywhere can play it while we retain the ownership, identity?
That's a very, very good question. You see what has killed my guys of my age and some above me, some beneath me, who had the opportunity, you understand, to travel outside this country. They left this country with everything they knew. They went back there and now joined the bandwagon of what is happening international standard. Why? Because of the money. You need to, they say you need to become like how do they say it in English again? So, in a nutshell, we sold what we have because of the dollar. We sold what we have because of the pounds. Because when we get there, they force you to play their music. Because you get to Europe right now, you find out that very, very, very few. The only band that I saw in Europe that was actually making wave in their nightclub was this Makossa band. Makossa band, because it's francophone, they speak French. And so few countries in Europe were able to understand what they were doing. You understand? And they just danced to the music anyhow. And the music was selling like mad in the club. The album didn't sell, but the live performance was sold out because of get out of this place. Instead, they will bring African music and put pop drumming and put funk instead because they want to sell it. The only person that made that thing happen, that tried, was Femi, because he took it from his father, and Femi went there and started playing that bang bang bang, I just they go bang bang bang. But you see here that the African, that big drum, that root thing, you see here that thing inside, and they kept that Afrobeat, and they kept it in the music. But our guys go out there now and they play pop drumming into the African thing. So we can't go like that. The only way for us to go on, for them to recognize us, is to carry our thing, you understand, and push it. Carry our music, let our beat sit down on our thing. That's the only way we can do it.
Okay. Now, one last thing, because we're running out of time. You've worked with quite a number of churches. I see there is a list of about 5 or 6 here that you have shared with us. Church music is another thing that a number of people are coming from. Of course, needless to say, many Nigerians, many musicians came from the church as well, both locally and internationally. But then there is still that question. I don't know where you place it. And please don't use your standard is very, 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 very in those days. People say that musicians should not charge churches or religious houses when they are playing for them. And the opinions are divided on that. There are those who say there's a difference between ministry and industry. Where do you belong?
You see, that's bullshit. Why would they say that musicians should not charge? I've worked in churches where the pastors are being paid. Why do they pay the pastor? The The head pastor, fine, he's calling home. They will not tell you they are receiving salaries. But the benevolence that goes to his pocket, you don't know. But the pastor that work under them, some went to Bible school, some didn't go, they are associate pastors. They pay them, pastors. So why will you not pay a musician? Do you know how long it takes to learn an instrument when the pastor wasn't there? When the church was not there, they call you from outside to join them. We can do this, and you're playing. And it takes at least 5 to 7 years to get to the point of appreciation in playing any instrument. Whether you go and learn it in school or whether you self-develop it, it takes that 5 years, that dedication, nights and whatever, listening to record, developing yourself. So they don't see it as a profession. Some of them, so when you come to the church and you are playing, I tell you are working for God. Is the pastor not also working for God? Is he not feeding from is he not eating from the church? Why will you muscle the horse that tread the corn? And let angels come and be playing praise and worship for us.
How about
do you understand?
how about musicians? How about music ministers that are invited from outside who are also music ministers? You call them music ministers. Do they charge or they just wait for honorarium?
Some of them charge, and the pastors have made them do that. Because if a pastor comes to a church to come and preach, the church will give the pastor honorarium. Abi? Now the musician comes to the church to come and play. You are supposed to give him honorarium. The guy finally opens his envelope after he has ministered for like 3 days. He opened his envelope, he came with his band, and you are giving him 200,000 for him to share with his band. That's insult to his profession. So the next time you call him to come and play, he will give you his charges.
Right.
Charging is not a sin now. It is my work. They have cheated us several times. They don't tell you, you don't know the offerings, you don't know the tithes. I work in the church, a church that we started together from Crado. The church got to a place where the tithe was about 3 million on Sunday. The offering we don't know until they count it, but the tithe got to about 3 million. And the church was still paying us 15,000 naira. When we started to speak about it, I said, okay, not like this supposed to be. This was the family thing, before you know what was happening like this there. They just gave me leave. I'm not going to leave for like 5 years. They gave me leave. Say, Ray, you never go leave. They gave me leave, and I went for 2 months without any leave allowance. Only for me to come back to the church. My name is no longer in the account. They have already cut me off. So it's not my ministry. Who will I take it to? Will I take it to court? Will I go and call the police? They just yanked me off like that. I went to go and meet this person. This person, the HOD said I should go and meet their pastor. I went to their pastor. After I said I should went to their account. They were just pushing me like that. My name was no longer in the church. Why? Because I did not sign anything with them. So tomorrow night you call me, Ray, I want you to come and handle my choir and groom them for about 3 months. I will give you my charges. If you cannot pay it, you understand? Then you sit down and look for somebody else to do it.
Or maybe you want them to, maybe they should do it themselves. Well, so I'm looking forward to a conference where you discuss all of these issues because the concerns are quite a few. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Raymond Jehovy, popularly known as Papare, one of Nigeria's greatest drummers and percussionists. Appreciate your time and your thoughts again.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
When we return next week, to
an equally great audience. Oh, wow. Thank you for sticking with us and, listening to our voices and listening to everything we have for you this Saturday. Pleasure.
Yes. Pleasure. I finished my...
Your what?
My tea. Zobo tea.
Your Zobo tea.
Yeah, finished it. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I'm Ayo Makine and she is...
I'm Jackie Rogers.
See you next week.